My ex replies but doesn't initiate. What can I do to get them to take more initiative in our interactions? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video, but first, my name is Clay with ModernLove.life, where we help you get the great loving relationship that you're looking for without having to play mind games, without having to play hard to get, and without having to pretend to be someone or something that you are not, because you deserve to be loved for the unique, amazing, and wonderful person that you are. And if you agree with me, do me a favor by hitting that thumbs up button down below this video and by subscribing to this channel if you're not already. The more you hit that thumbs up button, the more it helps tell YouTube that they should show these videos to more people out there that might need them. So please help me out by hitting that thumbs up button. And also, I want to let you know that we do have a course called the X Solution Program. It is sort of a start to finish course that lays out an entire blueprint for helping you to get back together with your ex by focusing on the emotional connection. We've helped a lot of people go from a place where maybe their ex is responding but not initiating towards actually wanting to commit to a relationship with them. And it all comes from focusing in on that emotional connection between the two of you. Anyway, I'm not going to hard sell you on the X Solution Program, but if you're curious about it, you can find out more information about it down in the description box below this video. Anyway, let's get into this video. So if your ex is responding to you but not initiating, then let's go ahead and reverse engineer what's going on here. So they're talking to you, and that's a good thing. They're open to being in communication with you, and maybe they're even opening up significantly with you, but they're not initiating with you. Now, there can be a lot of reasons for that. That is to say, they're interacting with you, and they might even enjoy interacting with you, but there's something emotionally that's stopping them from taking the initiative. What could that be? Now, we want to first start by taking a look at them as a, general overall personality type. Are they maybe just more of a passive sort of person in general? If you look back at your time together, were they passive in the past? Were they not the kind of person that took initiative? If so, maybe that's just kind of how they are. But if they used to take the initiative, but now they're not, that kind of lets us know that there's something else going on the emotional level that could be keeping them from wanting to take the initiative. So let's go ahead and look at some common reasons why your ex might not be taking the initiative. So first of all, they might feel guilty for hurting you in the past. They might feel guilty for breaking up with you, and they might be thinking to themselves like, oh, maybe I miss them, and maybe I want to contact them, but who am I to do that when I hurt you so badly? Like, would that just make me like someone who's giving them false hope, or like maybe I shouldn't be the one to make the first move because I've been such a jerk to them in the past. I've hurt them. I've caused them to cry potentially, and so that can sometimes keep your ex from reaching out, a sense of guilt. Another thing that can keep them from reaching out is high expectations. Oftentimes, people's exes think that it has to be either all or nothing if they're going to be in contact with you. Either they're going to get back together with you and date you and want to commit to you again and all of that stuff if they're in contact with you, or it's nothing at all. Now, obviously, that is not a great place to be, because there needs to be sort of this nebulous kind of period in the beginning, usually, where your ex and you are just sort of like feeling each other out and without any sort of expectation, seeing how you want to interact with one another and how the two of you are going to fit into each other's lives. And it can be really hard to have this time if the two of you are trying to decide, okay, we're going to be everything or nothing at all. And so what you may want to do is may want to decrease the amount of expectation that they have so that they can feel comfortable initiating with you without thinking that it has to necessarily lead to something, or that it has to mean something significant, or something along those lines. That can definitely play a role as well too. Because your ex might be afraid to reach out to you because they might think, oh, well, I don't know how I feel about them just yet, but I'm afraid of giving them false hope, or I'm afraid of leading them on. I'm afraid that I might be, that a-hole that like uses their ex or something like that. And I don't want to be that guy. I want to be a good person. And so that can sometimes keep them from taking the initiative, because they're in a place of indecision themselves, and they don't feel as if they can take the initiative until they have some degree of certainty. But of course, they're not going to have that degree of certainty until the two of you interact a little bit more and they build up the emotional connection between the two of you and actually have some good emotional feelings and bonding between the two of you so that they actually start to feel that degree of certainty. So again, we need to have that sort of expectation-free period where the two of you are able to connect with one another without it necessarily leading to something or meaning something or anything like that. Really important. And oftentimes building that emotional connection can come through focusing on advanced relational skills. So if you do want to learn more about advanced relational skills, we do have an entire video playlist on the topic. You can find it right up there in a video card. This is really kind of the foundation about what we teach, advanced relational skills and emotional connection. So if you're new to me or this channel, you might want to check that out. Again, it is right up there in the corner. And so if your ex is responding but not initiating, oftentimes it's some sort of block like that that's keeping them from taking that next step. Now, there could obviously be other things as well too. Like, for example, maybe they're in a rebound relationship and they think that, like, oh, if I'm contacting you, my ex, and I'm in this relationship with someone else, does that make me a bad person? Does that make me someone who's going to like two-time on my rebound or something like that? And you might want them to do that because you want to see what's possible between the two of you, but they might feel this sense of guilt in doing that. They might start to feel that their identity is starting to, veer towards the negative side of things if they start to think like, oh, maybe I'm not being faithful. Maybe I'm not giving my new relationship a fair shake. And again, that's just that expectation thing. So what we want to do is we want to pull down that expectation so that they don't think that we are necessarily interacting with one another out of an overtly romantic sort of way. And we want to just say something like, hey, like, let's not force anything that's not here. Let's just enjoy interacting with one another as friends for the time being. And this can often help create a better situation between the two of you where you can connect better. In fact, I often recommend that people actually overtly put themselves in the friend zone. And this can be kind of scary for a lot of people because a lot of people are really terrified of the friend zone. They're terrified that their ex is going to put them in the friend zone and that they're, just going to end up as some like platonic friend while their ex is sitting there gushing about their new rebound partner or something. This does not usually happen, so do not worry about this. Like, I've never had a client who was like legit in the friend zone. Instead, putting yourself in the friend zone just gives your ex permission to interact with you, permission to spend more time with you, something to tell themselves when their mind starts asking the question, why are we meeting up? Why are we talking? Does this make me a bad person because I'm dating someone else? Like, am I giving them false hope or something? But instead they have this answer that says, oh, well, we're friends. That's why we're talking, right? And so this is a good context for rebuilding that emotional connection. And, when the two of you get back together, you'll probably be able to look back at this period of time and say, yeah, we were dating in our own way the whole time. Like, you're not really friends. And, asterisks here, I have to kind of point this out because people sometimes get confused on this, but when you do this, you don't want to just be kind of like interacting with your ex as a platonic friend. You obviously want to do things like flirt with them when and if the situation calls for it, when and if the mood is right and all of that. You want to be kind of probing things out, but you don't want to just kind of like box yourself into this like platonic vibe, right? You want to give them something to answer the question, what are we? So that they don't have to jump to conclusions and say, oh, we're dating. Oh, we're getting back together. This is way too much pressure for me. I'm going to like create more distance. But you want to give them something to answer it with and say like, oh, we're friends. That's why we're talking. That's why we're getting together. That's why we're doing things together. And that creates more of the context for you to build up that emotional connection. And once that emotional connection is stronger, then they're going to start initiating more. And once there's less of expectation on them about trying to define what the two of you are at this point in time, again, we don't want to be in this sort of nebulous quasi-relationship friend zone thing indefinitely. We want to get to a point where we can build up that emotional connection and then start to work on defining what we are. But there does need to be that time and place where we start to just feel out what we are for one another without any sort of expectation. And that can be really helpful. And if you do this, the emotional connection between you and your ex will start to improve, and you'll find most likely that they will start to initiate a lot more. So anyway, I hope this has helped you out. If you like what we're doing on this channel, please help me out by hitting that thumbs up button and by subscribing to the channel. The more you hit that thumbs up button on my videos, the more it tells YouTube that they should show my videos to more people that might find them helpful. So it does help us out, so please feel free to do that. And if you do want to learn more about how to connect with your ex on an emotional level, please check out this video series over here on advanced relational skills, or check out this video over here. But once again, my name is Clay with modernlove.life. I hope you found this video helpful, and I will talk to you next time. Please take care.